This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 26th day of January in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. President Irfanali is of the view that the Caribbean's financial sector must do more to mobilize capital to fill the regional's financial gaps. He made a statement today as he addressed the Jamaican Stock Exchange virtually, as that stock exchange hosted its regional capital market conference. Alluding to a recent report by the president of the Caribbean Development Bank, President Ali pointed out that the gross financial needs of the Caribbean in 2020 was in excess of $10 billion, and that has been growing steadily. He said the region's financial sector needs to do more to meet the needs of the region.
The challenges facing our financial system in the Caribbean is whether it can rise to the occasion of mobilizing the capital requirement for financing regional development. We know that this cannot be done from the savings within the region, and therefore the challenge will have to involve partnership with others, but also play the role as a catalyst for development. The financial architecture of the region must be modernized and become integrated.
The president said the region cannot develop with a silo mentality. It was noted that while a few banks exist within the region, there is a need for more, including indigenous banks. Further, the president said for the regional financial sector, investment has to become more aligned with the key regional economic objectives.
And this includes food and energy security and transition, which require tens of billions of dollars in investment. Without investment, our region energy and food security plans will flounder. The region's financial system, therefore, must take account of the development plans of the region. And I think the regional financial system also must be able to proactively respond to the needs of the region. And we cannot do so without combining our efforts.
Mr. Ali also said a financial model is needed to address the transportation and logistics problems that face the region. However, he warned that financial markets are not without risk, explaining that the deeper the region becomes integrated into the global financial markets, the higher the risk of global problems. As such, he said there is a need for strong regulations and financial institutions that would protect investors from extreme risk of implosion by financial institutions. That aside, the president also said that with Guyana on the verge of becoming a major economic powerhouse in the Caribbean, it is open for partnerships with financial institutions across the region.
An open invitation is extended to Caribbean financial institutions to come to Guyana and to explore the opportunities available. We are just as keen to partner with the regional institutions as we are in forging international partnerships. We are seeking partnerships not only to develop our oil and gas sector, but also to modernize our traditional sectors, such as agriculture, gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese mining, and forestry.
The president said Guyana is set to become the energy and industrial capital of the region, a regional food engine, an ecotourism destination, a major aquaculture producer, and the mecca of regional cricket. Already, Guyana is forging stronger partnerships with major economies, including those of Brazil, Canada, China, India, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and the United States of America. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Guyana's Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson Bent, today reported to the National Assembly that due to the efforts of the government, there has been a steep reduction in all forms of serious crimes. The minister, who overlooks public security, said cases of robberies, murders, and violence have seen a 20% decrease in the past year.
I'm saying that it has a lot to do with our support to the Guyana Police Force, with the provision of new vehicles, with new training, with new efforts in respect of crime and violence and the prevention and mitigation of that.
According to the Home Affairs Minister, the approach of the government is to ensure that at the level of the Guyana Police Force and its interaction with members of the public, there be a less lethal engagement. He believes that has also contributed to the reduction in crime. But although Mr. Bent told the National Assembly that crime is down, he also reported a 14% increase in the prison population over the past year.
That we have had a tremendous increase in the prison population over the period by some 14%, 2,156. Presumably mostly bad people in the prisons. We're talking about putting in, with the new prison infrastructure that we're building at Lusiknan, a school, a health center, a new women's prison. We're talking about having education for them. We're talking about a release program called Fresh Start.
Further, the Home Affairs Minister reported that there has been a dramatic increase in the seizure of narcotics. He said there has been an increase in drug seizures due to better intelligence gathering being done. The government has been warned about what appears to be a resurgence of execution-style killings in the country. There have been a number of execution-style murders in the past year, with at least 3 such killings recorded since the start of this year, along with other murders. Let's tell you now that the decision in the appeal filed by Vikash Ramkissoon and Sarah Brown challenging the High Court's ruling, which nullified their appointments as parliamentary secretaries, is now pending, as the Court of Appeal is still to determine whether it is bound by its earlier decision in the case of the Attorney General versus Desmond Mourian. In April 2021, Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George ruled that the appointment of Ramkissoon and Brown as parliamentary secretaries was unconstitutional on the basis that they were unlawful members of the National Assembly. In handing down the ruling, the Chief Justice said the Attorney General Anil Nandlal, in an attempt to defend the PP civic candidates, found himself approbating and reprobating on the matter he had successfully argued in both the High Court and Court of Appeal. Opposition Chief Whip Christopher Jones, in challenging the appointments of Brown and Ramkissoon, relied on the case, the Attorney General versus Desmond Mourian, in which both the High Court and the Court of Appeal ruled that the then Minister within the Ministry of Social Protection, Keith Scott, and the Minister of Citizenship, Winston Felix, could not sit in the National Assembly as technocrat ministers on the basis that they were listed as APNU AFC candidates. Though Nandlal was the lead attorney representing Mourian and won the case at both the High Court and Court of Appeal levels, he has now found himself arguing against the position he took in the case. When the appeal came up today, Trinidad and Tobago's senior counsel Douglas Mendez, who is leading a battery of attorneys from the Attorney General's chambers, insisted that the appellate court is not bound by its earlier decision. He argued that the Court of Appeal in the case of Desmond Mourian did not address the substantive issue, but only that of jurisdiction. But Justice of Appeal Don Gregory, who was a part of the panel of judges in the case of Desmond Mourian, said when that matter was reviewed, it was found that the Court of Appeal at the time affirmed the decision of the late Chief Justice Ian Chang, and in so doing took into consideration not only the issue of jurisdiction but also the substantive issues. Senior Counsel Mendez, however, insisted that the appeal court at the time did not express an opinion on what the Constitution meant by elected member of the National Assembly. In support of his argument, he submitted a number of authorities, warning that if the issue is left unresolved, it could lead to an absurdity. But Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford, who together with attorney-at-law Sloan Peters appeared on behalf of Christopher Jones, told the appellate judges that the arguments put forward by Senior Counsel Mendez are absurd. He said, as articulated by Justice Gregory, the decision of the Court of Appeal in the case of Desmond Mourian is binding, and as such the appeal filed by Ramkissoon and Brown should be dismissed. Upon hearing the arguments put forward by the two sides, the Chancellor committed to having the authorities reviewed them. However, she made it clear that in order for the early decision of the appeal court to be set aside in the case of Desmond Mourian, the case would have to be heard by a panel of 5 judges. But there are only 4 available judges at the moment in the appeal court. With big spending on infrastructure projects over the past 2.5 years, Public Works Minister Bishop Juan Edgil has boasted that both towns and communities now have better access roads. During his budget debate presentation, Minister Edgil said the PP Civic government spent more money on roads in the last 2 years than the former APNU AFC government did in 5 years in office.
In the 28 months that the PPPC is in office, 2020, 21, and 22, we have already allocated and implemented $45 billion worth of work in miscellaneous roads. In 56 months, $8 billion. That was the lethargic, too little state of the APNU AFC.
Some $136 billion has been set aside in this year's budget for the construction of roads and bridges. The minister said heavy focus will be placed on community roads this year, even as he noted that more than 80% of its intended target last year for community roads was achieved.
In terms of miscellaneous roads, in 2020, we did 80 kilometers of community roads, miscellaneous roads. In 2021, we built 117 kilometers. In 2022, we built 290 kilometers of community roads. That's what this PPPC did.
Minister Edgil also said last year saw massive works conducted in almost all of the regions, with some roadworks ongoing as the government looks at fast-tracking infrastructure development.
Mr. Speaker, in terms of urban roads and drainage, in 2020, the 3 months that we came in, we did 6.37 kilometers. In 2021, we continued our program with 3.6 kilometers. In 2022, we built 18.13 kilometers of roads in the city and in the towns, urban centers.
Edgell also told the National Assembly that massive concrete road works were also undertaken in the hinterland regions. In addition, he said more than 40 bridges in the hinterland alone are currently under construction, while others are being renovated from wood to concrete bridges to modernize communities. He said similar works are also being executed in coastland regions.
It's your time to win big. Spend $2,000 or more at any Massey stores to enter our Christmas jackpot promotion. You can be the lucky winner of a brand new Nissan X-Trail. You can also win a sofa set, Samsung gas stove, motorcycle, $300,000 in cash, or a fabulous weekend trip for two. Shop now until January 31st for a chance to hit Massey's Christmas jackpot. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, or website for more details.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Anson Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Still with roads and those roadworks, Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson, who served as Public Infrastructure Minister under the former APNU AFC government, has rebuffed the statements made by Works Minister Juan Edgell about the quantity and quality of roads being done under the current government. Mr. Patterson said even though the coalition government had less money to work with, it did more work at a better quality. He explained that in areas where the coalition executed roadworks, the roads are still in good shape, while roads currently being done are falling apart days after construction.
Sir, this is what the PPP did in urban roads. Sir, 5 times the budget of the APNU. 2020, 6.4 kilometers. 2021, 3.6 kilometers. 2022, 18.3 kilometers. Sir, here is what the coalition did, sir, in 2017. 20.22 kilometers in 2017. 21.1 kilometers in 2018. Sir, of course, we fell down in 2016, sir. We did 16.6. Sir, in the 3 years, 2017 to 2019, sir, all here, the coalition administration completed 58 kilometers of roadworks in urban areas. Compared to the 3 years of the PPP, sir, with all the money they have, they've only done 28.13, sir.
In his presentation, Minister Juan Edgell said the Ministry of Works has completed 491 kilometers of miscellaneous roads since taking office in 2020. Mr. Patterson admitted that the coalition was not able to complete that amount of miscellaneous roadworks due to budget constraints. But he said the cost of miscellaneous roadworks under the PPP government has now doubled from $46 million per kilometer when the coalition left office to $92 million per kilometer now.
More than double the cost with half the quality. One can only wonder where the extra money is going. Mr. Speaker, what makes it worse, sir? What makes it worse? In 2022, sir, of the 290 kilometers of road, they said, sir, as minister, here, sir, only 55 kilometers were actually
you're getting back your time.
As it relates to the energy sector, Mr. Pellison said the government is setting itself up for failure with the current construct of the gas-to-energy project. He noted the project was conceptualized by the former APNU-AFC government, but with the modifications which have been done by the current government, it will cost taxpayers an extra $2 billion. Mr. Patterson also touched on the government's continued efforts to move ahead with the pricey Amila Falls hydropower project. He said there have been multiple studies that have determined that that project would not be a feasible one. Just over a week after two police constables and a mason were nabbed in a car with a quantity of marijuana, cocaine, and ammunition, the three have been charged and remanded to jail. Police constables Julius Cambridge and Albert Beresford, along with Mason Sheldon Benjamin, appeared in court on Wednesday. According to a police statement, the trio were charged with possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking and possession of ammunition without a license. All three of the accused entered not guilty pleas. Magistrate Fabio Azor remanded the three to jail after the charges were read to them. They were ordered to return to court on the 28th of February for the continuation of the matter. The three men were held at the police roadblock last Monday morning at Copan John on the east coast of Demerara. They were traveling in the motor car, and when it was stopped at the police roadblock, a search of the vehicle revealed several small packages of cocaine and large parcels of marijuana stashed in a travel bag. Police officers also discovered several live rounds of 9mm ammunition. The three men were immediately arrested and taken to the nearby police station, where they were booked for the crime of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking and unlawful possession of ammunition. Let's tell you now that well-known bar owner Clyde Barrett, also known as Clydie, is in the custody of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, and he is facing drug trafficking charges. The city businessman was arrested on Wednesday along Avenue of the Republic here in Georgetown after his car was intercepted by Kanu agents, and more than 25 pounds of marijuana was found in the vehicle. Kanu said Barrett was the driver and sole occupant of the car when the bust was made. The marijuana was discovered in several large parcels in a large bag. Barrett was arrested and taken to Kanu headquarters, where he was told of the offense and the possible charges. He remains in custody as investigations continue into the latest bust. Kanu has been stepping up its operations to root out drug trafficking in communities across the country. The agency seized thousands of pounds of marijuana last year.
Ansem Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Ansem Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Ansem Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Ansem Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Buster, win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Across the region tonight, the government of Grenada has announced a 1-month delay in the implementation of an increase in the excise tax on alcohol and tobacco products, as well as value-added tax on sugar, sugary or carbonated drinks. In a statement, the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, said in relation to the tax on the sugary drinks, the government is going to push back the date for that to become effective from the 1st of March rather than the 1st of February, because the government needs the additional time to make sure that the items are clearly identified, clearly classified, and clearly published. Mitchell, who is also the Minister for Finance, had in his budget statement last December announced that as of the 1st of February this year, alcohol and tobacco products will see an increase in the excise tax, while refined sugar will be removed from the zero rates VAT list and the VAT on sugary products will increase to 20%. But at the first post-cabinet news conference for the year, the Prime Minister told reporters that his administration wanted to have more discussions with the various stakeholders who will be directly affected by the taxes. Peru's President Dina Boluarte has called for a national truce after protests that have rocked the country since her predecessor, Pedro Castillo, was ousted on the 7th of December. Following her speech, thousands of people marched in the capital of Lima, demanding that she resigns from office. Ms. Boluarte was sworn in after Mr. Castillo was impeached, following his failed attempt to dissolve the Congress. More than 50 people have died in the subsequent unrest. Hours after Ms. Boluarte called for dialogue and urged calm, thousands of protesters clashed with the police, who fired tear gas. Some protesters threw rocks at the security forces. There were shouts of "Boluarte, murderer," referring to the dozens of Peruvians who have been killed in confrontations with the police since she took over as the country's president. And finally tonight, international news. The US government is launching an investigation into Southwest Airlines after massive flight cancellations left travelers across the US stranded back in December. The U.S. Department of Transportation said it is in the initial phase of a comprehensive investigation into Southwest Airlines and the holiday debacle that stranded millions. Southwest said it was cooperating with the investigation. The airline canceled more than 16,000 flights during a busy week of holiday travel in December, leaving many people stranded. The Transport Department is investigating whether the airline knowingly scheduled more flights in late December than it could realistically handle. It said doing so will be considered a deceptive practice under federal law. The U.S. Transportation Department also said it has made it clear to Southwest Airlines that it must provide timely refunds and reimbursements to compensate those affected passengers. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.